Position is,
Have you had other projects where you've been able to collect from them or no?
Not
Because
much,
surely this is not the first time that they've caused an issue.
not with NIPSCO, some other utilities have stepped up to the plate, and it's been, and they've admitted they've had issues on this, and I've gotten, I don't know if you got the emails, but they've shared with me their new procedure on how they're going to approach local projects, and how they're gonna do things differently in the future, but they will not step up and say anything on this project.
I'll make a motion to pay the claim.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to pay claim 369 in the amount of $54,405.24. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so let me pass down,
that's 369, correct?
that's 369, correct?
Thank you.
You want to pass those down to Jay. The next claim we have is claim 374 for Baker Tilly for continuing disclosure services provided from, for the period ending 12/31/22 for our two bonds, the 2014 and 2015 bonds, for $1,110.
Motion to approve.
Second on that?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve claim 374 for Baker Tilly in the amount of $1,110. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 3-0. Okay, let me. Okay, so, there's one copy, there's a second copy for Jay to sign. Then the last claim is claim for, Eric's services for the first half of the year. It's claim 375 with the amount being $4,750.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pay claim 375. There's no discussion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. So, and, let's see. I think we got that. So, there's 2 copies of all that. Project updates. Who's going first?
It should cover it all. We wanted to talk shell building. So on this side, you will have the as-is design site plan, and then on the back side, you have 2 different versions of the rendering. So we've spent some considerable amount of time on where it's gonna be at, value to the park, value to the end user, some healthy discussions. I think I ended up asking a question that cost me about 30 minutes of my time I'll never get back, but I was in a room with a bunch of really smart folks. And we do have 3 of our EDC board members on this committee, so we have some really great feedback. So I'll just for the eye chart of the placement of the building, 50,000 square feet, just short of that, with the built-in expansion to the north. I think we're trying to maximize the use of this lot, as oddly shaped as it is. Yeah, and Brian, I don't know if you had any details on, or if you had questions, and then maybe Brian could jump in on why something was the way it is.
Where's RUMC at?
Yes, they would be due east to this. So you see that curb cut on the southeast corner, how it kind of creates a U?
Yeah.
That would be the curb cut into the REMC as well.
Oh.
So, yeah, I've got an extra one of these if you want to pass that around. That's kind of the parking, so.
So it's next door to the RUMC.
Yes.
Which originally we're talking lot, what is it, lot 6, isn't it? The one down here,
Lot 5.
Lot 5. Yeah, so lot 5 and lot 7. I know that it's numbered weird. I didn't know them, but,
yeah, the one there, not the little 1.5 acre, the next one over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we do have lot 6 under contract to purchase with the company, from out of county. That'll bring some jobs and a small, nice capital investment.
They're gonna purchase it?
Yes, it's under contract, we close in about 95 days. We're not celebrating anything until financing's done, and then we'll make an announcement. I mean, it's a great project for Carroll County.
How many jobs is it?
They're shooting for 15 right now, so.
It's the nature of the business, or you gonna say?
Yeah, machining, so it's a tier 2 to, Indiana Packers, Braun Ability, Caterpillar. So, it's not a full-scale production, but they do manufacture, some parts for them.
So for that company, is it a relocation or an
It is a
expansion?
relocation and expansion. So they'll be adding about 5,000 square foot from their original footprint now, from the county they're located in.
Which is not here.
Correct, so it'd be net new jobs for us.
That's lot 6, that's the one.
Yeah, yes,
off of
that is the north, that's the north,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Lot
that's the
5.
one, that's the one we originally.
Yes, so lot 5 is where we originally had our
Lot
place.
5, okay.
Yeah, and then, so the reason we're off of lot 5 too is because we're under a non-disclosure with a company to locate some distribution warehousing for that lot as well. So, there's likely we could be, I think we're promising to be under contract with them. We're under MOU, so we have it in writing, and we're working with them.
For which one?
This will be lot
5
5.
and 7.
So that help our financial position, like, if this went south by selling these other 2 lots, would that, help pay down the debt on this? Just,
On the AV side, so actual settlement, like tax settlement, yeah, this would, if we break ground on these hypothetically, which is possible, very possible actually, this year, by the time those are ready to do collection, depending on, I think one of them may want an abatement, we'll have to talk about that once we get closer, but, then that new revenue would essentially come into the redevelopment commission to pay down any debt that was possibly, could be used. I think that would be your guys' choice to use what those funds are for, so, the answer is yes, I think it would significantly impact the settlement that we're getting here on a biannual basis. And then whatever the implication that means for paying down the shell building probably would help pay that off quicker. So yeah, depending on abatement, right, if we're getting abatement for, I know for one of them likely, then you'll have to wait a couple years to get the settlement schedule to start easing into the TIF coffers, but, so that's why we're here, to answer the question. That's where we're on lot 3. We kind of, a little bit unorthodox because that lot is so big compared to where we're putting it, but I think what we wanted to do is maximize the contiguous property to the north, right? So we know maximizing our contiguous industrial ground is beneficial because whoever purchased that does not have to purchase the whole 10-acre lot. Specifically, if they're not gonna do their expansion or have plans for the 50,000 expansion when they buy the building, and then it's as is, they buy it as is, and then we're able to kind of carve out the remaining 23 acres contiguous for another project.
And just to interject on Jake, so those lot lines are drawn, but they are not flat, so we can still move things around. if we need to. Or like in the case of lot 7, just do away with it, lot 5.
good.
Just
So-
out of curiosity, real quick, on those 15 jobs, how many of those are relocating employees as well,
They all would be,
as opposed to hiring new?
so they would be relocations of jobs. I think would be expanding 5 new jobs from where he's at, so if he's
But
at,
within the tax base still, so,
yes, the AV is going to be
good.
not significant, but I mean, I think they're talking 15 to 20,000 square foot, so nothing exorbitant, but certainly that AV is gonna roll into the coffers for the TIF, and then when the TIF's gone, it'll roll back into the rate for the county, so, yes, to be honest with you, I think that's the type of company we're excited about, so, we try to take flyers and travel around and get big companies, big industrialized companies, and these are the folks that are,
Better to hit lots of singles than a big number.
yes, that summarizes, yep. And we think this is a company that's gonna continue to grow and will be a long-term addition to the park and possibly could expand further on the lot that they're on, so. Yeah, it's not a flyer by any chance, they're established, well-positioned, we just gotta get their financing for their move and keep closing. So, super excited. So as it sits, that's where we're at. We did run these plans through the EDC just to make sure that there wasn't any other input. They did approve the current site plan, so it doesn't look like there's gonna be any fundamental changes unless you have input now on it. And then I think our next logical step is to look at doing, what are we looking for now? Brian, what's the next step for you guys, I guess? Sorry to put you on the spot here.
So we've got, now we're moving into schematic budget development, I think, so we've got site design started and now it's moving to budget.
I would,
From Carroll.
yeah, that'll be the next step, so, but start hashing out, cut, fill, all that stuff. I don't think I've ever used that word, Brian, now. One of the things we will be discussing with, and we'll be meeting with Carroll at RMC next week, is to talk about what the utility requirements will be for the site. I think we're gonna be fine on the projects we're hitting right now for water, sewer, and gas. So none of them have a tremendous need that exceeds, but power is a problem. I was informed that the jail is taking a great portion of the amperage left for the substation that feeds the industrial park. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna get more power.
First we gotta figure out how to get water, then sewage, then.
Exactly what I said. So I think lead times are what kills us on power, right? They say they can serve it, which I believe them. I mean, I think we have faith in our MC to be able to do that. It'll be the lead time on the product to be able to build the substation or whatever is needed for the project. And so if they're on an 18-month timeline and their financing is predicated on that, and they say, we're 24 months out on getting you your power, it's problematic, really problematic actually. So, we're hoping to kind of refine what investments can they make and Wabash Valley make into providing excess power, but not over their skis to where we're over leveraging the power use for the park. So I think what we're seeing on the market side is that there's a lot of industrial development, but it's warehousing distribution, right? So they have built all these massive substations, and then now they're not necessarily needing the power in some of the cases. Then other cases they can't even keep up with the project demand. They're behind big time. So we're trying to find that middle spot to where they make the right investments, and then yeah. So. Did I miss anything?
Well, I was gonna ask you, is the city that's running the power lines across, or what's that?
Yeah, so that's a transmission project that's being done by Wabash Valley Power in partnership with Duke. The Andersons has asked for redundancy, like loop fed. That was the original request. In order to do that, they have to build a substation. So Wabash Valley and Carroll will be building a substation out on this northeast side of town. And that'll give redundancy to both Indiana Packers and the Andersons. That's what those transmission lines you see that are not hung yet on those monopoles along 25. So that'll feed off of Duke's transmission and go straight into Indiana Packers and the Andersons to be able to feed them loop fed, or to feed them on redundancy. So they have a 45,000 square foot freezer that does not have a backup transmission source, and that's really what's kept them up at night. So this will be a huge investment on Wabash Valley's part to help kind of ease that burden for them. So that's what we'll see there.
I didn't know if any of that.
So,
possibly
yes.
helped the industrial park or
I think we're gonna try to figure out how we tap off of that, because the industrial park is not loop fed either. And that, in fact, is consideration to some companies, especially if you're running operations that are required to keep, timing. So we gotta figure out, and it may end up being a new substation right next to the transfer station or from county property or near the park, that feeds the industrial park. But those are 24 months out to even get it, and it has to be a priority, and, I will say that there is a slight disadvantage because Wabash Valley also serves Boone County, which is in a massive overtaking right now. That's probably not the right word, I should say. They're in like hyper growth mode, so their focus and investments have been down there, and so I'm not saying they're not caring. I mean, they've been good to us, really good to us, but we just gotta be able to be in the queue for, if we're gonna fill this shell building with a user that has got significant power, that's gonna be under constraint, unfortunately. The water problem's taken care of, the sewer is decent, we got 180, 190,000 gallons a day we can tap into. Gas is there, so we're really worried, I guess more concerned about the power side of things.
So the machine shop uses very little sewer water.
Yeah, their process does not require any of it, so it would all just be essentially residential use for water, sewer, maybe a little bit of gas. So, and then the other project will not require any significant, use. So, we're in good shape on those other two lots. It's just the shell building is going to be, I would hate to build this and then get turned down 5 or 6 times because we can't deliver on the power side in a timely manner. That's my number one concern. But those conversations are already being had, and I'll kind of hopefully leverage the fact that the RDC is making significant investment into this, and so there is skin in the game locally, and that we should probably advise our utility partners to continue to make investments as well to complement what we're doing. And this isn't just them extending an olive branch. We're all kind of leveraged on this as what's to come. So that's what we're trying to do.
Because the machine shop, big thing for them is going to be probably 443 phase. Because especially if they're running any type of CNC equipment, that's where they're going to be looking.
Sure.
So.
Great question.
Any other questions for Jake, or? So at this point,
So this dotted line area here is future expansion, like we talked previously, and height of the building is somewhat based on that. But this,
Yeah, the rendering's on the back.
It's kind of flat roof building, so you really don't need, height to get slope. I was thinking this was
I think
more of a mono slope
it
type
is.
building.
It still will be. I
Still
think
will
that
be.
there'll be a
So 1 to 12.
One,
Usually they're 1 to 12.
so the whatever you wanna call that up there, the facade will just,
height that, basically.
it'll hide the monoslope, and then
So if they did build on this area, they would need to change their access drive to be able to get to where the loading dock area is?
well,
That's
actually,
a great-
they got 2 accesses.
that's a good question.
On here.
Oh, yeah, they do,
Yeah, so the south lot is intended to be where the trucks would enter. Now, our concern, our discussion was like, because of the grade change right there, it's somewhat significant, so we're trying to avoid moving the building too far south to where you have a significant grade for trucks that are coming in and out. So, we've settled on where it's at, so that'll be the truck entrance, and then the office building, will be, or the main, the main office will be on the northwest corner. And then that way, if there's an expansion, then it would be centrally located within the whole entire building. So if you expanded north, then you wouldn't have an office building all the way on one end of the plant. Yeah, I mean, we discussed, do we put a road there, do we not put a road? I think the consensus was that having a road all the way around it just helps with marketing, helps with appeal. Most of the product that's being made these days have like 360 degree flow. And so we kind of landed on that, so, but we haven't gotten the numbers yet. So I think what's the number, I'd like we wouldn't have to value engineer, but we probably have some room to
So that's something that could be illustrated 360 access, but only put in one route at this time, if the budget dictates, you know. Cause you don't know, they need expansion, then you're gonna tear up a new road, it's never been used, but there's just a lot of unknowns. You're just trying to make it as appealable as possible for a potential user, which we don't know what their needs are.
Yeah, I don't wanna get the funnel too narrow,
Yeah.
so just building a roof already does that by nature, but speed's the commodity now, like speed is what they need, so this just enhances their ability to do that, so I don't think a road makes or breaks them, as long as it doesn't make or break the budget, so, if we've gotta step off of that, then that's probably $100,000, subtraction. But if it's necessary to help make the building more appealable, or more usable and have more appeal, then we can consider those kind of things. So I'll have I guess follow up next month on hopefully maybe we'll have some costing. I think the goal is, and the timeline still stands, is that we're looking at, if, once we roll forward with any debt issuance, that, we would look at bidding this construction in the winter. So it'd be like a January, February bid schedule. I think by November, by Thanksgiving, we will have a full kind of GMP, and, we'll have something to discuss in November, December, and then figure out what the financing looks like, and then start bidding those construction documents, in January, February, which is the best time to bid.
Cause everybody's lining up your summer work, rest of the year, basically.
Correct. And with having Garmon on the team already, it obviously helps their construction schedule. They're anticipating this being on their schedule, so it's not like we have to go shop necessarily everything, or we don't have to go shop the construction company essentially. So, depending on how the financing goes based on it too, so.
We did get the geotech back.
Yes.
Geotech report, technically just paid for it.
Yeah. It's like we had more geotech out there than you can shake a stick at.
Well, yeah, like, you never know, I mean, and we're gonna do more.
Yeah.
I mean, we did, like on lot 5, we only did one boring.
Yeah.
On lot 1, I think we only did one boring.
Right.
So, it's.
Tells you something, doesn't tell you everything.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know where buildings are gonna go, you'd like to have all 4 corners and one out in the lot, somewhere, but we did that for a couple of the lots, but not all of them, so. There will be more change.
And it's likely if we get a private company in there, that's just part of their impact, and that's what they do, and if not, then we cover it and move on down the road, so, yeah,
There's turkey food out there.
I want to say none of the boring came back with any issues, right?
There were, I think 13 borings, and there were a few that had some unsuitable soil that was like at 10, 12 feet, so if they do shallow foundations, they should be okay. There were three that had water when they drilled, and a fourth that had it after they drilled. We did, when we did the RMC, when we did the road, we had to do some line stabilization, so I just kind of anticipated on any project here in White County, it's the same way. It's like, it doesn't matter how dry it is, you still, once you open it up, it just seems to need some extra strength to it, so. We'll add that in, but I didn't see anything where we